Hello and welcome to Mad Hatter News. I am your host, Sarah, and today we have some sad news. I was banned from my main account on TikTok. I had a little over 450,000 followers last time I checked, and I don't know why I was banned, but I did make a backup page. This is it right here. It is Mad Hatter News, mad_hatter_news. And if you see, I already have 100,000 followers, which is really, really great. The people love me, you just can't get rid of me. So, sorry, TikTok. But that's why it's so important to continue to build your base of followers on all of the different platforms. If you can subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. What I do is I spill the tea on the news and the government, and I guess TikTok didn't like that, especially considering that we had this huge conflict going on in Israel and Palestine, and there are a lot of things that are being shown on the news that is complete propaganda. And I was exposing that, and that might have been why I was banned from my main account. That type of censorship is unacceptable, but TikTok is actually the one platform that is censored exponentially more than any other platform I've ever seen. Right before I sat down to make this YouTube video, I was on video chat with one of my friends, and she was like, with the red lips, you look like Harley Quinn. And I thought that was funny because I feel like Harley Quinn right now. I do want to mention that when I was banned from TikTok, I opened the app the other day and my page was just gone. I was notified that I was permanently banned, and I had not received any violations. None. In fact, I had just checked it at like 2 a.m. And then when I woke up, it was permanently banned. So sometime during the late hours of the night, wee hours of the morning, maybe around dawn or before, I was banned. And I was given no opportunity to appeal. I don't even know why. It didn't give me any reason. So that kind of makes me think that they didn't want someone with such a large platform exposing propaganda. But at least I do have that new page. If you want to follow Mad Hatter News, definitely go do that. After my main page was banned, the first video I posted on my new page, which was yesterday, is already well over 500,000 views. So you can suck it, TikTok. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna keep making pages, and people are gonna keep following me. Get over it. But I really wanted to talk about censorship in the news, and also the Israel-Palestine conflict, which I am going to cover in Mad Hatter News at the end of this week, but I definitely wanted to cover it right now as well. Now, when we're talking about censorship in the news, the whole reason why I started Tea Time with Sarah and Mad Hatter News is because I was a Washington, D.C. news reporter. I do know how censorship works. I've seen it firsthand. I was extremely disheartened when I realized that what my professors were telling me in college were absolutely true, that we will never be able to report what we want, and we will always be told what to do and be censored. That's exactly what I experienced when I became a reporter in DC. Now, I wasn't just a reporter at one place. I was on TV, I was on radio. I was also a producer at a radio station hub that took signals from about 450 other radio stations from around the country. And it was just syndicated broadcasting, and we kind of just divvied it out to different stations. I was also a stand-in assistant at the G. Gordon Liddy Show, which was an extremely popular political talk show, although definitely GOP focused and not necessarily my cup of tea with some of the things that they would say, but it was a job. It was 2009, and it was a worse recession than we even have now at that point. So you got to take what you can get when you get out of college. But the one thing that really sealed the deal for me when I realized how censored the news was, and mind you, I was brand new to it. I was young. I had been wanting to do reporting for a very long time, and I went to school for it, and I was very happy to be in our nation's capital doing what I wanted to do in the place that is notorious for that thing. I did go to the news producer of WTOP, which is the #1 grossing talk radio news station in the country. And I asked him if I could do a news story on a specific topic. And specifically, the story that I wanted to cover was an investigative thing where restaurants were using their employees as slave labor to clean the restaurants. And if they don't show up to clean for free on their day off when the restaurant isn't open yet and they're not getting paid, then they lose their job. I knew that that was happening because it happened to me, and it was happening to my coworkers. And as I started to talk around with other people who were in the service industry, it was happening to them too. So I thought it was a very interesting topic that I think a lot of people would be interested in hearing about. And after I pitched the idea, the news producer at WTOP laughed in my face. Now I get it. WTOP is news broadcasting. It is political news. It is traffic news. And they're not so much geared towards investigative journalism. I get it. Did he have to laugh in my face? No. What he did was he gave me a topic to produce a news beat on, which I turned around and I did that. He proceeded to critique it, crucify it, destroy it, so much so that it made me question my validity as a reporter. And I didn't even know what he was referring to was wrong. He just kept saying that the news beat was wrong and that it was poorly written, when in fact I graduated with a degree in broadcast journalism with honors. So I know what I was doing was correct. I think he was trying to dishearten me, which is not cool, obviously. And then I looked around at all of my coworkers who were getting direction from this person and just basically being robot reporters. They're just robotically reporting whatever the station wanted them to say in the way that they wanted them to say it. Now, mind you, at the time, WTOP was owned by Bonneville International. Bonneville International is owned by the Jesus Christ Church of Latter-day Saints. Now, why is a Christian organization owning the #1 talk radio news station in the country located in Washington, D.C.? Think about it. They want to control the media if they have the money for it. Censorship in the media is extremely insidious. Apps like TikTok are very helpful in getting a group of people together and seeing that they are being fooled. When we can freely share information, it's very easy to show situations like this. Like when they used this footage from the demolished building in Iowa and used it in this video.
New chapter unfolding in the Russia-Ukraine war, and it's disturbing. This morning in Moscow, a city of 21 million people, there's a pre-dawn attack. Drones struck several buildings. According to Russia's defense ministry, 5 of 8 drones were shot down. The 3 other drones had their systems jammed, causing them to veer off.
Yeah, that was propaganda for sure. The drone attack did happen, but that wasn't the video, and it did not destroy the building as it showed you on television. It made a small hole in the building, and of course, that's not warranted and it's not okay. But you see the inflammatory things that they're trying to do in the media. They're trying to get you to be afraid. They're trying to get you to feel some type of way. And it's not the truth. Now, since the Iowa incident was national and international news, it actually did hit other countries. It was very easy to spot this lie. But oftentimes it's not easy to spot. That's the sad part, is that we don't know when we're being fooled. To censor someone who is just showing the propaganda, that should make your antennas go up a little bit. All I was doing was showing the truth. All I was showing was manipulated digital footage. All I was doing was showing what you weren't being shown. And I believe that's why I was banned. I want to make it known loud and clear, I am not affiliated with any political party. I don't agree with the right. I don't agree with the left. I agree with what makes sense. I agree with the truth. I agree with people not being lied to. And I agree with people knowing where their tax dollars are going and knowing the truth in the news. I did not know that when I dyed my hair blue, that it was a radical thing. I know that maybe a lot of places in the United States, places in the world, are not very used to seeing people with Crayola colored hair, but in my neighborhood, it's like every other person. And it's not because I'm a liberal or have any sort of political view. It quite literally was just that I liked the color and I wanted to dye my hair that way. But what I've found is as I'm reporting, people will assume that because I'm exposing the United States government and the news, that I must be this diehard liberal with blue hair. They're going to assume what they're going to assume. But at the end of the day, I don't appreciate what the United States is doing right now as far as the censorship. But we know why they're censoring it, because their interests are in Israel. Now let's talk about why their interest is in Israel. I'm not going to get into who's right or who's wrong in this episode. What I'm going to do is get into why the United States is over there in the first place. Israel is quite literally in the middle of like 8 Arab countries. It is smack in the middle of the Arab world. The Arab world is the main producer of oil in the world. Now, we don't really have great relationships with any of the countries in the Arab world. It's called the Arab world for a reason, because it's a completely different type of planet, pretty much. And the United States needed to have some sort of a base in the Arab world. After the Holocaust, Israel was given this land so that Jewish people could live there freely. Now, it seemed like a humanitarian idea at the time. But do you really think that the powers that be would do something humanitarian without anything to gain? If you think that, you're incredibly naive. The only reason why they wanted to have access to a hub in the Arab world is because they wanted a huge military arm to be in the center so they can do whatever they want and keep an eye on those countries from the inside. Now, again, I am bordering on a very blurred line where I'm not going to go into talking about the conflict. I just want you to let that simmer. I am never going to shut up about the propaganda in the news, the censorship, the control, the fake news, the complete lies. I'll never shut up about that. I've seen it firsthand. In fact, I want you to take a look at this 15-second clip of one of the people that I used to follow. We were actually mutual friends on my main TikTok before it was banned a couple days ago. He is a producer of news in Seattle, and he went to the Palestine-Israel area to really see what's going on. Now take a look at this clip.
Currently in an undisclosed location with the IDF on the front lines of what they're calling a war on terror. Behind the camera are an entire row of bulldozers as they intend to level entire city blocks as they go. They say it's a war on terror, but they intend to leave nothing behind.
Tell me why they have bulldozers within a week and are leveling a city with 2 million people that used to inhabit there a week ago. 2 million people? How many people live in your city? Is it less than 2 million? Imagine your city getting bombed in a whole week by another country just because there were some gangsters there that did some bad things to somebody else. They bomb your city to find those gangsters and then have it ready a week later to bulldoze your entire city in a week. And now they're going to move a bunch of people in and start building buildings there. Not for you. Your family's dead. And no one's sorry about it. No one cares. In fact, you're corralled in the edge of the city where they have you gated in. You can't even escape. You're there with no water. They've shut off your water. You have no shelter. You have no food. You have no medical aid. because they're trying to find the gangsters. Half of the people corralled at this gate are children. The adult men are dead. A lot of the adult men are dead. They've been dead. And Gazans are not able to get out. Some people ask, why don't they just leave? They can't leave. They've never been able to leave. Legally, it's almost impossible to travel and stay outside of Gaza. You can't leave. They've been there for decades. And the world has turned a blind eye. No one has cared about Gaza. And now they're just ready to bulldoze and make new, beautiful buildings and move an entirely different race of people into what you used to call a home a week ago. If you do not consider this a Holocaust, you're a psychopath. Now, again, I didn't really want to get into the specifics of what's going on in Gaza and Israel. I'm going to do that in Mad Hatter News, but I definitely wanted to throw that in there. We will be covering this in Mad Hatter News. My main takeaway that I wanted everyone to know from this video about band, which is really funny because I've been making a series on this channel, Tea Time with Sarah, called Band, which is banned music videos that I'm reacting to. So it is kind of ironic that I was banned a couple days ago. But thank God for my followers. I know it doesn't look like right now, at least right now, that I have very many followers on YouTube. Hopefully that changes soon, but you can definitely see that I have followers on TikTok specifically. I do have followers on Instagram, so definitely follow me on Instagram. I am a professional comedian too, which is completely separate than this and any reporting. But I do post my shows on my stories. So if you do ever want to come and see me at my shows, follow me at Pitch Dark Paradise on Instagram and watch my stories because I do post a lot of things. And I would definitely love to meet you. Just don't be creepy and a stalker because that's weird. My followers are amazing. Definitely subscribe to YouTube because I'm going to be spilling a lot more tea on here at Mad Hatter News. And YouTube is a lot less censored. So I'm really excited about that. As always, ask questions, seek the truth, think deeply, let things simmer, and don't believe what's been told to you. Don't even believe me. Do your own research. Just take the little pieces that you get as an opportunity to learn more with your own investigation. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.